In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to lay out a chessboard with the pieces on it. So at this point, we were kind of at this stage where we've got all our pieces. Now I'm ready to create the board and then put the pieces on there. They're all separate objects, so they should move independently so we can later on do some other things too. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Add and go to Mesh and go to Plane. And then I'm going to go ahead and press S on my keyboard and then 9 and press return. So that's about the size of my board that I'm going to make. And then I'm going to go ahead and just add the color to it. So if I go ahead and go to edit mode and then right mouse click and then subdivide it. So, and I basically just want to subdivide it to get all of the right cuts. So before I click off of it, that's why I clicked on this. And then I'll just go ahead and just lay it out. So I need basically 1, 2, 3, one more. So that should give me the board to get what I'm trying to get. So once I have that, let's get into some color. And I'm going to jump into the little material icon. And I should also come over here and click on the Look Dev mode for materials. So that I can now add my first color. So I'll just kind of throw on a color first, whatever color you want, and then I need to create a secondary color. So new, and then this is the color that I need to basically click on every other one. So hold Shift down to select on other ones, and then you just click and then assign it, and then I just need to do that. So I'm holding down Shift to select those. There's really not another way to do this, at least that I know of. Maybe there is. And just get every other piece so you get some sort of board to work with. And you can kind of do them all at once. I'm kind of going back and forth, so hold down Shift to select more. If you accidentally click the wrong one, hold down Shift again to deselect it or reassign it. Okay, so now I've got my board all ready to go. Now I need to get out of edit mode and into object mode, and now I need to position my objects in the right spot. So I'm holding down Shift again so I can kind of move all of them at the same time. And then to rotate them, I'm going to try and do them all at the same time, but sometimes you have to do them individually. So if you press R on your keyboard and then type in 90 and then either X, Y, and it looks like it was X for me. So that should get me all of my pieces ready to go. So, and then I'm going to go ahead and view and go ahead, and I could do this a different way too. So viewpoint and go to top view. And this is probably the easiest way to kind of lay these out and position them where I want them to go. So if you need to resize S to scale, it's probably the easiest way. And you do have some options over here too, and rotate, but those are kind of hard to, I like using the hotkeys a little bit more. Okay, so I need to position these just right, and I think the board's right about there. And go back to top view, and I'm going to independently kind of move them around, kind of see what pieces. I think I'm going to use that as my rook. Maybe use this as a pawn. Oops. Command Z anytime you mess up. I'm trying to use the arrows as much as possible. That way I can kind of see what I'm doing. So get on my top view again. I think this is going to be my knight. And then this is my bishop. And then I've got my king, my queen here. And then from there, I've got my pieces. I'm ready to start kind of duplicating. So before I do that though, you have to do these one at a time, which is kind of a pain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually wait a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and just maybe use the same color and just kind of click and choose different colors. I wish you could just select a multiple, but if you do that, then you just kind of get that happening. So you do have to do this one at a time. so you can get them to go. And then go from there. So from here I need to add a little bit more, so I need to duplicate some of these pieces. So Shift D to duplicate, and then X, Y, or Z to kind of pull it along the axis. Shift D to duplicate, X, Y, or Z. Grab that one, Shift D to duplicate, X, Y, or Z, and I'm just doing X. And then now I'm just going to go ahead and just Shift D, Shift D. So now I'm kind of holding down Shift to select multiple pieces, and Shift D to duplicate so I can do those all at the same time. So I'm going to look at my top view, make sure it's looking okay, maybe jump into wireframe to see it's kind of in the right spot, or even solid mode. I think they're looking okay. Okay, so I've got the one side, now I'm ready to do the other side. And while I have these still selected, I'm going to come over and basically Shift D to duplicate. And you can also right mouse click and do duplicate objects that way too. So whichever way you feel like doing it, and then press X or Y to get it to the right side. And then I'll just do the same with these guys. So select those all. So Shift D to duplicate, and then Y to pull it along the axis. And then I do have to rotate a few of my pieces, but I've got most of them in there. And then to change the color, I can't just come over here and change the color here, because that will change color for everything. So I can't do that. So instead, I need to just click and just choose a new color. So click there, and then that will change it. So, and once again, I wish you could do multiple pieces, but you kind of have to do them one by one until you get all of them set up the right way. So, and you could add colors too, but that's kind of how you do it. So get your whole board set up and you are good to go.